Hi, welcome to CNTV blog. There's a discuss I want us to have. Just want to weigh in on it. It's regarding the question regarding the question of is Jesus or was Jesus a plan B, as in regarding the restoration of man back to God and man's redemption, as well as having a second plan, like a plan B, plan C, etc. Is he a sign of lack of faith? So I'll attempt to answer these two questions. I'll hop between them as I answer them. But there's some foundational scriptures I would like us to bear in mind and have in mind as we continue this discourse. 4 points that will form a bedrock of this discussion. The first is that God is the same. Second is that God doesn't change. Third is that God does not lie. Does not lie. Then fourth, God is a God of faith. I'll choose to call him faith, the way he's love. I choose to call him faith. Have these 4 things at the back of your mind as you carry on this discussion. 2 scriptures I'd like to read for us to have in mind. And the first is in Ephesians 4 and Ephesians 5. Verse 4 says, according as he has chosen us in him. When did he choose us? Before the foundation of the world. That we should be holy and without blame before him in love. So he chose us before the foundation of the world. See verse 5. Verse 5 now says that having predestinated us, he predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So he chose us before the world began. He predestinated us before the world began. He did all of this in Christ Jesus. So there's no way Jesus would have been a plan B. And there's no scripture that made it so clear than Revelations. The Bible says in Revelation 13 that the Lamb was slain before the world began. Somebody said that Jesus was a fallback plan. Okay, if he was, why wasn't he introduced just after the fall? Why wait another 4,000 years? Because there's something called the right time. I won't go into that to talk to you about kairos and talk to you about chronos. The Greek words for time are both kairos and chronos. These 2 words were just translated into time because in English we only have 1 word for time. I won't really go into that. I'll bore you with all the theological details. But God knows the end from the beginning. God is a long-term planner. God has timelines. God cannot force you to do something, because he has made us a free moral being. He wants us to choose what we want to do. He let us have that choice. He gave us the ability to make that choice for ourselves. The only way I can explain is that God has what I call a logic diagram. I'm going to insert it into this video now. Just look at it. A logic diagram is a diagram that gives series of procedures depending on choice. When you write a program, or you want to write a program, in those days, not now, they have all kinds of programming language for a computer. In those days, when I was learning the basics of computer programming, it was just DOS, MS-DOS. That's how we could program. After MS-DOS, they had C++, Visual Basic, and other. But MS-DOS, the original, we used to use this computer, MMX 333 MMX, and that was like the fastest ever. MMX, that's even up to 1 gig. MMX, that was one of the fastest computer. Then you put your computer on, you had to go cook, put something on fire, or do you want to iron your clothes, because it's going to take quite a while for you to boot. So the programming language in those days used to be MS-DOS, where you have to use CD directory, change directory, MD, make directory. So you follow a thought process because of decisions. So those days just have NOR, XOR, or that is OR, XOR, and all those things. If you come to a point where decision needs to make, for example, if it is yes, do this, or no, or yes, no, all those kind of things. So your decision will determine where you will go to. Your decision will determine what decision you will make. I'm going to pull up a diagram just to show an example of what I mean. So you see from that logic diagram, you see all the different points of decision. I put this one up because it's a bit interesting, about whether I should call a guy or not call a guy based on this and that. It's very interesting. What I mean, so when God made that plan, because man is a free moral being, he knows the end of each of your decisions. He knows if you say no, this is where to end. He knows if you say yes, this is where to end. So based on that, when God did his long-term planning, he factored the fact that man is a free moral being and he cannot force man to choose. When Adam made that choice in the garden, God was right there because God is omnipresent. He was not away, he didn't travel, he was right there. But he didn't do anything to stop that because he has made man a free moral being and he couldn't interfere. You know what happened to David and Saul? Saul was the one that people chose to be the king. Was the first man called, but you see what happened? He lost it. Another man took over. So was David a plan B to Saul? God always has that diagram because of the human factor, the man factor. Man is unstable in all his ways. It is God that doesn't change. It is God that doesn't lie. It is God that is the same yesterday, today, and forever. But man can change tomorrow. So because of the man factor, God has planned for that. He has taken that into cognizance. That man can decide either to do this or to do that. So based on that, each of man's decision, whichever way he chooses to go, there is a plan for that. That is why he planned the end from the beginning. But for God's global plan, for God's will, the Bible says that there are many devices in the heart of a man, but the counsel of the Lord will stand. But for God's counsel, there are some things that God has set. No matter how man decides, he will still engineer it. He will still engineer it to make sure his counsel stands. For example, the birth of Jesus. There are things that are supposed to be in place. The birth of John the Baptist to be the forerunner and all that. Man would have cancelled that. Like when the angel appeared to his father Zechariah in the temple when he was offering sacrifice. And he said, he made a statement of doubt. What did the angel do? Because it was a kairos moment. The angel made him dumb. So with his mouth, he will not alter the plan, because that period in time was the kairos moment. You know, like I said, I won't bore you with the details of talking to you about kairos and chronos. These are the two Greek words for time. You know, chronos is like specific time, month, week, day, and all that. But kairos is not like a specific time. The way chronos is quantitative time, while kairos is qualitative time. It's like saying, I'm going to eat breakfast by 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is chronos time. But kairos is not really a specified time, but it is a period where something needs to be done. A decision needs to be taken. A decision needs to be taken. So when you read about the birth of Christ and all that, you know, the Bible says that when the fullness of time was come, that fullness of time is talking about kairos. Based on the prophecy of Daniel, when you read the 70 weeks prophecy, Daniel specified when, you know, the Redeemer was supposed to come. So when that time arrived to be born, so because of the chronos and the kairos moment, you know, fused into one, there was no way heaven would have permitted the abortion of this project. And Zechariah nearly did. So he was made dumb. So with his mouth, he cannot disrupt the program of God. So because his counsel needs to stand. In that case, you know, the angel went an extra mile to ensure God's counsel stood. God is sovereign, but more often than not on earth, he chooses not to, because he has given earth to the sons of men. He has given us planet earth to govern, to have dominion over, you know, and to supervise. You know, but when it has to do with his plan and purposes, and you know that man's decision will spoil it, he will have alternate plans to ensure that nothing goes wrong. I hope you're understanding it. So, does having multiple plans lack of faith? No, it is not lack of faith. Why is it not lack of faith? Because of the man factor. Once men are involved, once man is involved, you need to, you know, plan to accommodate man's decision. So your aim, the ultimate goal, will not be overturned or be destroyed or not come to pass. But I need to say this. If you've heard from God, like I talked to you about planning, effective planning has a whole lot to do with information. Whether information from past history or the present, which I want to call hindsight, or information about the future. So if you have appropriate information as you make your plans, you know, your plans will not necessarily need a lot of, you know, fallback alternatives like a plan B, C and all that. But if you have insight, which is downloading information from God, when you have insight from God, once you make a plan based on that insight, it's really a plan that heaven gives you, then you don't need to have a second plan. Because when you now have a second plan, you are saying that you don't trust God has given you that insight. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Once you have heard clearly from God, God has given you a plan. Stick to that plan. At times, the plan might not be really detailed. What did God tell Abraham at first? He says, go to a land I will show you. And he stopped. He didn't give him details. But because Abraham has put his faith in God, he arose and left. The thing about God, most times, is that when he gives you instruction, he wants you to put your faith in him 100%. As you carry out those instructions, he will now open up details of the plan if he chooses. So in cases where you've heard from God, imagine if Abraham had a fallback plan about going to Canaan. He wouldn't have arrived. Now see again what happened. God told him about Isaac, how he's going to come. Sarai gave him a fallback plan, and he took that plan. And you know what has happened because of that choice he made. God kept quiet. Didn't talk to Abraham for close to 15 years, if I have my maths right. He didn't talk to Abraham because of that wrong decision. And after a while, he came back. Reintroduced himself to Abraham as El Shaddai, and they started again. But he has lost years. So when you have heard from God directly, and you go and make subsequent plans because of doubt in God, not doubt in man. When you have doubt in man, you can make several plans and no problem with that. But when you make several plans because you doubt God, then it becomes a problem. That is lack of faith. I'll say that again. When you make several plans, plan A, plan B, and subsequent plans, because you're not sure of the way God will go, then it is doubt. But when you make other plans because you're not sure of how men will go, because you need men in whatever vision, goal, whatever you're pursuing, you're not sure of where they will go. So you make plans to accommodate man's will, then it is not lack of faith. How many things to say to you? I'm going to stop here. But see the point I want to make. First, Jesus was not a plan B. Jesus was the original plan. Making a plan B, is it lack of faith? I'm going to answer that two ways, like I've already answered. I'm going to say two things regarding that. If you're making a plan B because you don't know the way God is going to go, then it is lack of faith. Because his word has told us he doesn't change, he's the same, he doesn't lie. But when you are sure the way God will go, because you're saying his word, then you have downloaded information from him. You have inside information. Based on inside information, and you've heard clearly from God, go this way, and you still make a second plan because you're not sure the way God will go, then it is lack of faith. But if you make a second plan because you're not sure the way man will go, then it is not lack of faith, because faith is supposed to be in God and not in man. Solomon said that we should not lean on our own understanding, but we should trust God. So when you don't trust God, and because of that you make several plans, then it is fear and doubt. But when you don't trust man, and you make other plans because you don't know the way man will go, then you are not in doubt. That one is okay. So you can make several plans when you're dealing with man's will. But when you make several plans because you're not sure of God, that is already doubt. That's already doubt. The Bible made it clear in James chapter 1 that a double-minded man is unstable in his ways. So when your multiple plans is because you don't know the way God will go, then you're double-minded. Then you're in doubt. And of course, you remove God's ability to help you. But when you're dealing with man, make a fallback plan, because men will be men. The Bible has already made it clear that we should not lean on man. We should not trust in man. We should not trust in the arm of the flesh. We should not put our trust in chariots and horses. We should put our trust in God. We should put our trust in the name of the Lord. So based on that, making a plan B is lack of faith when you doubt God. Making a plan B is actually faith when you're not sure how man will go. So based on that, you're making alternate plans to ensure that you will get that result, that you reach your goal. And that alone is even a sign of faith. God bless you. See you soon. God bless you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and look at the other masterclasses on relationship that I have. And very soon I'm going to have masterclass on success coming soon. So you make sure you hit me up. Subscribe to my channel so you get a notification whenever a new class is uploaded. God bless you.